going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chunky! I didn't say.
Eat your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. Happy Tuesday. Happy April Fool's Day. Hopefully I was able to fool all of you this morning. There were a few not so happy campers who accused me of clickbait, and I had to politely say, yeah, I mean, it was a joke. Had a Eric Martin clip that wasn't the sovereign citizen Eric Martin. It was a joke. It was a joke. Most of you got it though. Most of you had a good laugh out of it. But yeah, for those of you that were upset and accused me of clickbait and then unsubscribe to the channel, I mean, I guess good riddance. I mean, if you can't take an April Fool's joke, I sorry, I don't need your comments. Just saying. All right. Tonight. I've got one case, potentially two. I might play the sovereign citizen from that happened today. I kind of wanted to make that into a video tomorrow, but we'll see how long this first one goes. It's a little bit of a longer one. And this did happen yesterday. And I know a lot of channels already played it, but it's good. And I was not going to just let it go. I had to play it. We have, you know what? I mean, the title says everything. Chick married her cousin. Now she's suing her dad. Or she's not suing her dad. She filed a PPO. Is it PPO, I think it is? Anyways, the case is wild from start to finish. So, yeah, let's get into it. Speaking of, yeah, I don't know. Speaking of what? Loki, thank you so much for the very generous PayPal. I do appreciate it. Loki, you are awesome. Thank you for your kind words as well. Thank you. All right. You guys ready? What do I say? Haven't gone live since Friday. What do I say? Before I hit that like button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
All right. Are you free from the other court?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate your patience.
Okay, so we'll take your matter up now. Then if Brooke O'Brien you are there. Jason O'Brien, we have you. And now we have Mr. Johnson, who's representing Mr. O'Brien. And 2532 is our case. You don't have to stay there, Ms. Paris, if you don't want. And let me get the documents up before me. As you see, I'm going to be looking back and forth as I've got an electronic file, and I am listening, but looking at what's been filed. Thank you. Let's see. All right. There's a lot of information filed, and I had an opportunity to review it all. So let me put Ms. O'Brien, have you raise your right hand? Brooke O'Brien, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. And then Jason O'Brien, raise your right hand with me. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to start out here. I've had an opportunity, as I said, to review. There's lots of information provided on all sides. And Mr. Johnson is representing Mr. O'Brien, and he's going to have the opportunity to ask questions of Ms. O'Brien and to present the case for Mr. O'Brien. So first off, Ms. O'Brien, then as I said, I've looked at everything, and let me just kind of open something up here.
Vic, no, I took last night off. I just need the night. Well, I guess I needed 2 nights, so I didn't stream last night. Yeah, you didn't miss anything. I do apologize to the members though. Yeah, it wasn't a good night.
Again, so I have it before me. There it is. Before I allow Mr. Johnson to ask any questions, what would you like to say that you haven't already put into evidence, or something you want to focus in on? Or
Your Honor, I'm just here again today to request a 1-year protection order, sadly, against my father. My father's harassed and threatened and sabotaged a lot of things regarding a DV situation as well. That was submitted as well, that he bailed out my husband in a DV situation. The mental and verbal abuse has continued into my adulthood, as I've submitted that as well. I've endured this behavior for far too long, which is why I'm here today. My father's lied in his declaration about his Facebook accounts. I've proved that in exhibits that he's perjured himself. He's used multiple Facebook accounts to harass
You're
and reach
referring to your
out.
second petition, your second response? Is that what you're referring to, those exhibits?
Well, I wasn't allowed to respond to any.
Yeah, yeah, Jedi. Jason's the dad, and when I first saw this, when I was watching this for the first time, I thought that was the husband. He looks young. He looks good for being a dad of an adult with kids. He does. I honestly thought that was the husband. While I am paused, Rich, thank you so much for the 14 months. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Rich.
Any other exhibits prior last court date.
I have the second declaration of petitioner.
Then yes, then that was submitted.
Okay.
That is what I'm talking
Those
about.
pictures that are appended to that, is that what you're talking about, or?
Yes.
Okay.
And then on top of this, he's used those accounts for years. My father's sister, Natasha, also lied in her declaration by
Maybe that's why she married her cousin, because you know her dad apparently has good genes. They wanted to keep it in the family. Too soon.
falsely stating that I obtained and shared content without her knowledge or permission. These were messages clearly Natasha sent to me by herself, also proven in the exhibits I provided. Natasha's no longer here with us as she has passed away. So having her to deal with this on her deathbed is quite concerning in general for her to write anything as she was medicated on morphine to pass peacefully. I believe my request for protection rises to level of unlawful harassment, and I believe my father needs to be accountable for his behaviors that he is all of his witnesses attested to in their declarations. I believe he also, the only way that this will stop and this behavior will stop progressively will be because of legal repercussions. Thank you for your time.
So you're asking for an order that would do what? What would you want?
Protect me from all the things that I've submitted to the courts, ma'am.
So what does that mean? No contact of any kind with your father, not allow him to contact you through family, through friends, through social media, to stay
Correct.
away from you, a geographical distance?
Yes.
Just looking at your petition here to be clear what you're asking for. Let's see, you said no harm to you, no contact with you, no stalking, stay 1,000 feet away from your person, your residence, school or daycare. I didn't see any kid. Yes, of the
Okay, her name's Grace
child.
Novak, and yes, I want her involved as well for a year.
And all right, so all of those things you asked in your petition, that's what you're asking for.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Let me just kind of review again to see if I have any particular question. Well, Mr. Johnson, why don't you go ahead? Do you have any questions of Ms. O'Brien?
Yes, Ms. O'Brien, isn't it true that you received financial assistance from your husband as recently as January?
How is my husband allowed or even able to give me financial assistance?
Not your husband, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Your father. Your father provided financial assistance to you and your husband as recently as January, true?
Since January, because we worked for him in his construction company, yes. But that was also paid wages that were earned.
So those Venmo transactions, $400 here,
Which are directed
cetera,
towards Destin Kendrick and as well as the money that's obtained by my father for work has nothing to do with the harassment. So let's move on from that.
Well, I think it's telling. You were asking your father for money repeatedly as recently as a week before filing this order. Isn't that true?
That's untrue, actually.
Well, we have the.
Yeah, a week prior to my domestic violence situation, so not technically the restraining order.
Okay, but your father was Venmoing you money, Venmoing your husband at your request, true?
True. It was for paid wages that were worked on his job site.
She actually had a hearing today. She was, which I didn't go to. One of somebody I know was trying to get the log into Zoom, but they wouldn't let them log into Zoom, which I knew they wouldn't. They have that locked down. I didn't drive up there, which I'm glad I didn't. It did sound like it was a little bit of a circus. I did hear a little bit of what happened, but um, they waived the what is it? They waived the exam, so they moved it to circuit court because it's a felony. So she's now in the Third Circuit Court in Michigan, which unfortunately doesn't stream either. Both judges there used to stream, but now they don't because they both got porn bombed. So both of their channels were deleted from the internet. So we're gonna have to find other means to see it. But yeah, but that's not the case that has to do with Chuck. That's her new felony case where she assaulted a police officer. That's what's going on with that right now. The next case, the next hearing that has to do with Chuck, they pushed it out. I want to say they pushed it out till June. I don't remember why. Maybe just see what happens in this case, or I don't remember why they pushed it out so long. But yeah, the one that has to do with Chuck, the next one's not for a while.
I see. And so the paid wages were in irregular increments, like $400 here, $50 there,
My
another
financial
$75.
situations are none of your concern, actually.
So, Ms. O'Brien, let the question be finished and then answer it as best you can. So, Mr. Johnson, want to rephrase the question, and then Ms. O'Brien, then you answer the question.
It was pretty straightforward the first time, Your Honor.
I want to hear it because they were talking over each other. So, Mr. Johnson, what's the question again?
Thank you. So it's your contention here today that each and every time that Mr. O'Brien was Venmoing and sending cash money to you and your husband, it was strictly in compensation for wages.
Correct, and it's an ex-husband, thank you.
Okay. And so over the course of the previous, and that was the last transaction was about a week before you filed this restraining order, isn't that true?
To Destin Kendrick, yes.
Okay. And that was while the two of you were still together prior to the domestic violence situation.
Yes.
And the domestic violence situation that you're referring to throughout is Justin and yourself. Isn't that right?
Sorry, I couldn't hear that,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson. What was the question?
The domestic violence situation that you've referred to numerous occasions is the domestic violence situation involving your husband and you, true?
Yes, if you read the declarations, that would be true.
And Mr. O'Brien, my client, the respondent, was not present during any domestic violence situation between you and your husband that Mr. Kendrick, your husband, was arrested for, true?
Yes, true. It was midnight. I don't think anyone should be at my house at midnight, but yes.
Got it. So at midnight, you and your husband get into some sort of a domestic violence
Let's
situation.
pause for a second.
Ms. O'Brien, you need a what? What are you asking for?
To get into details about the domestic violence is pretty triggering for me, and that's not to be discussed under what is here today. It's harassment.
Yeah, you don't get to decide that. Sorry, Karen. You can't just say hold on. And earlier she said let's move on from this. Like no, yeah, you open yourself up to this. Your dad has an attorney. He's allowed to question you. It is extremely irrelevant because he is setting a foundation for a lot of questions he's about to ask here shortly. So yeah, sorry, Karen. You're not gonna get your way on this.
So I don't like to discuss further into my domestic violence situation. Besides that, this is added up to my dad bailing him out of jail. That is the
Okay, so you're
only
saying that
parts of that.
it's not relevant for Mr. Johnson to ask about what happened between you and Dustin Kendrick.
Yes, it's none of his concern nor his
Okay.
business.
Well, a lot of things start to open up when we come to court, but I'm going to turn to Mr. Johnson about that. Mr. Johnson, maybe you can tell me where you're headed so I can make a decision about that objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I think I have the answers that I was looking for already, so I can move to the next series of
All right.
questions. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Karen. You just gave him the answer that he was going. He was probably going to ask you 3 or 4 more questions. So, all you did was made yourself look awesome and gave him what he wanted to know. What he was going to ask you anyways is, did your dad bail your husband out of jail? That's where he was going.
Thank you. So your husband is your direct first cousin, isn't that true?
If that's what it states in the thing and what he wanted to pursue, yeah. If that's what you guys.
He's the son of Mr. O'Brien's sister, isn't that right?
Yes.
And Mr.
Yeah, that would make you cousins. That would make you first cousins. I mean, I understand why she would want to hide that, but no, the answer was yes. You watch the other lady that's on Zoom. She has nothing to do with this case, but this attorney keeps nailing it in, calling the husband your cousin husband. Every time he refers to the husband, it's your cousin husband or your husband cousin, whatever. And I think it's hilarious. And the other lady, she has to cover her mouth up a few times. She's just like, "Oh my God, what is going on?"
O'Brien's sister was dying of brain cancer throughout this situation. True?
Lung cancer.
Lung cancer.
Lung cancer, I'm sorry.
That's kind of disregarding and sad that you guys couldn't get that right. Rest in peace, Natasha.
Yes, may she rest in peace. It was lung cancer. I apologize. So she was dying of lung cancer.
Correct.
And let me back up a second. So by your own testimony, you were working for your father. You were in a relationship, father-daughter relationship with your father, up to the point that you and your husband get involved in a domestic violence situation at midnight. Is that right?
Yes, but it's also pursued into my dad as a pattern behavior that this has not happened just more than once, which has been submitted as well in my declarations.
Got it. So you were very upset that you found out through a third party planning to bail your husband, your cousin, his nephew out of jail. True?
Wouldn't you be upset if your father didn't believe that's in court record that happened and he decided to bail someone out in regards of strangulation his own daughter and putting his hands on me? I think anybody would be upset regarding that.
Ms. O'Brien, this is a difficult situation for everyone. Asking the attorneys questions or what they would feel is not relevant. I'll ask you to answer questions that you can. All right, so
which I am doing my best
make
to
extra
do.
comments. Don't ask questions of the attorney and how they would feel about something. Simply answer the question that they pose. So, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Honor. It's also possible that your father wanted to give his dying sister the gift of having face-to-face contact with her son before she passed. True?
I wasn't knowledgeable about that, so that's really for him to
speculation, Mr. Johnson. I don't require Ms. O'Brien to answer
called a guilt trip.
Question that she has to divine what another person is thinking.
Okay.
So you don't have to answer that question.
Fair
It's a really good point, though. I do get the judge's ruling, but I don't know if she's overstepping. I don't know, what's her name, Brooke. I keep calling her Karen, so I wouldn't actually call her by her name. But yeah, you're mad. This whole thing is because Your dad bailed out your husband, which is his nephew. His sister was about to die. Her son was in jail. He bailed out his nephew so his nephew could see his mom before she passed. I mean, I don't know. That sounds like a pretty damn good reason to bail someone out, in my opinion.
Enough. So the reason I ask you that, Ms. O'Brien, is because it sounds like you're speculating on what your father's reason is for bailing your husband cousin out of jail.
So what
True,
would you like me to respond to that?
true or false?
Yeah, I'm very angry that he did that because I'm his daughter.
So you speculated
I
as
did
to
not
what
speculate anything.
his intention was in bailing his nephew out of jail.
So yes, let me
True.
respond to that. Yes. His intentions were not pure. I've received text, please don't interrupt me. I've received text from Natasha, it's being sent to me that he wishes I was dead and hung, and that he wishes I was stoned to death and beaten to death. And I think that's sufficient enough to why we're here today, of why I don't want any contact with my own father, because as a mother of myself, I would never say anything about my children that way. So let's touch there.
Ms. O'Brien, you included the third-party text that you received in your original petition.
Third-party text in regarding to what?
Which you just stated that he had said some
which was
ugly things.
Yes. So why is that
You-
acceptable for anybody to tell that to anybody?
Ma'am,
regarding-
you included those texts
Yes, I did.
that you received somehow from third parties in your original petition, isn't that right?
I received them because she sent them to me.
You included them in your in your request for a temporary order, true?
True.
And you were denied that temporary order, weren't you?
This got continued. It wasn't
No,
denied,
you
it
were-
was continued.
No, you were
I don't think we
denied.
have to parse that. We're at the hearing to determine if an order will be issued. And so I do see
So
that
let's
that
get-
is part of the evidence, and we're going to talk about it all. So, Mr. Johnson, why don't you move forward from what happened about whether a temporary order was issued or not?
Biggin, thank you so much for the raid, my friend. I appreciate it. Hi, Mrs. Biggin. How are you? How are you tonight? Biggin, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to all the raiders. Let's see. How do I sum this up? We have Karen, who also married her first cousin, filed a PPO against her dad. That's what's going on right now. And that's all you need to know. That's it. That's all I have to catch you up on. Karen, she married her cousin, and she filed a PPO against her dad. All right, Biggin, thank you again. I do appreciate it. And while I am paused, Ms. Orchid Blooms, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships, and welcome to the 5 new members. Thank you so much, Mrs. Orchid Blooms. All right, Miss Orchid Blooms. Sorry. Okay, let's go.
And let's get to the meat of this, whether
I know. Hey, if you would have told me this story, I'd been like, "Oh, that's Kentucky. That's Kentucky or West Virginia all over it." Washington. I didn't know they had that issue too.
the court should or shouldn't issue this order.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Computer just froze on me. Let me. So it is accurate that you received tens of thousands of dollars of financial support from your husband in the year leading
Father.
up to you requesting this order, or from your
Father.
Negative.
Thanks.
Tens and thousands of dollars seems pretty absurd to me.
Okay. Received.
So once you get
almost-
those numbers, maybe you can
You-
put that
you
on
received-
paper.
Look, this isn't an argument.
It's not an
ma'am.
argument, but we
This
are
is-
here in court today
So,
to
Ms.
decipher
O'Brien,
what's
just
going
slow
on.
down, Mr. Johnson, slow down. So, Mr. Johnson asked if you received tens of thousands of
No.
dollars from your father, and what is your answer?
False. No.
Okay, so Mr.
No.
Johnson,
Thank you. But we've provided to the court the specific transactions for just 1 month, and it totals $2,850. You saw that, correct?
Correct. And that's not, it's for paid wages.
So
No, let me talk if you want an answer, please.
All right.
It's for,
it was a yes or no question, ma'am. It was a yes or no question. Here's the next question.
wonderful.
You're claiming that you worked for your father. Can you tell me what job you did working for your father?
It's under IQ construction and he doesn't actually have workman's comp. So it was to help him do dump runs. So
I
he didn't
see.
have to hire somebody to do so.
So it's your contention that you
And this isn't
did-
about money. This is about the harassment.
It's your contention that you did dump runs totaling almost $3,000 the last month
And
prior
labor.
to filing.
And labor, yes.
So this is actually the second time you filed a petition against your father, isn't that true?
This is the first time for a no contact order.
Okay. You filed this
Where did you find the
separate.
second time?
Here, let me come back to that. I'll get you the date. Hold on 1 second. Let me just go to the next question. So you
Yeah, this attorney is kind of taking his time. I mean, this is kind of a layup for him. I mean, the dad's not harassing her. She's trying to weaponize the PPOs to get back at him for bailing out her his nephew, her husband. I can't say that with a straight face. Can't. But yeah, the attorney's really just nailing this in. He's like, no, you're not gonna have a chance at this. I don't know. Hold on. Pear. Did I get it right that time? Pear, thank you so much for the 7 months. I appreciate it. Thank you and congratulations on the milestone. Chris, oh, due to the circumstances beyond my control, I won't be able to. Oh wait, never mind. I did that April Fool's joke already over at Biggin. I don't know what April Fool's joke you did at Biggin, but I appreciate the super chat. Good to see you, Chris. Deborah, member for 3 months. Thank you, Deborah. That is awesome. Thank you. And Lainey, thank you so much for becoming a new member. Welcome to the family. That is awesome. All right, let's go.
also sent text messages to your father that were, I guess we could characterize.
your feed kind of broke up there, Mr. Johnson. Say that again.
You also sent text messages to your father that would be characterized as ugly. Isn't that right?
Yeah, but this is the harassment on him, not me, because I do stand up for myself and what's wrong and what's right. I can be ugly if you are ugly towards me, but at this point, this is towards him.
Well, it would
This
be
is about him
relevant for the court
harassing.
to hear your comments to Jason O'Brien if they're within a particular amount of time here. So, Mr. Johnson, go ahead.
You've used the F word toward him in text.
Oh. Do you want a yes or no to that?
Of course, I want a yes.
Well, yes, I have, as he told me he wanted me dead.
I would have fell for that. I would have. It kind of comes out of nowhere. Because you're there every night, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm leaving. Like, it just it wouldn't make sense that was a joke. So yeah, I would have fell for it too. I had a good April Fool's joke this morning. Now that Biggin raids came, I put a video out with Eric Martin on it, and yeah, it wasn't the Soft Sid Eric Martin. It was just another guy with the name Eric Martin. I thought it was funny. Most people thought it was funny too. So that was my joke. Becca May, thank you so much for becoming a new member. Welcome to the family. That is awesome. Thank you.
So, I mean, when it's you,
So
stand up for yourself.
you're characterizing the conversation where
Where's the proof in these ugly
He's-
messages that have been submitted to the court?
you're
So just answer the questions, Ms. O'Brien, if you can. And that's the
Well, I said
evidence,
yeah,
it's
the first-
this testimony. So, Mr. Johnson?
Your Honor, you're characterizing the argument that you and your father had about he perceived that you were being dishonest, and he said, "Or demised little child."
Demised little child. I'm an adult. So we can
You
kind of
were
correct that.
offended. You were offended that
You're breaking up. It's not
Mr.
quite clear.
Johnson,
You were
your connection
offended.
is not good.
you here. Let me try something different, Your Honor. Hold on a second.
Charger, type C.
Yep, Jedi just dropped it. I was gonna say my Discord link is always in the description. It's in the description of all my videos, so if you ever need it, you can go there. But Jedi just dropped it. Thanks, Jedi. Oh yeah, I know. It was clearly not the Eric Martin. But the joke was to get you to click on it thinking it was the Eric Martin. So just by clicking on the video and you think it's him, you fell for it. Yeah, I know it's vague, but I still enjoyed it.
Okay, can you hear me better now, Your Honor?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. You were offended that he referred to you as little child?
What's the response in that text?
Well, the response in that text is telling him to FUCK, etc. Right? So that means you were offended,
So
true?
where's the evidence of these messages? Because that's not been submitted.
Uh, it, let me worry about the evidence, okay?
Okay.
I'm just simply
That's
asking.
So,
crazy.
Ms. O'Brien, evidence is testimony. Answer the questions as best you can. This is not an argument you're having with Mr. Johnson. I'm trying to get evidence so I can determine what to do here. And you're arguing with the attorney isn't helping. So please
yes, I
just
was
answer the
offended.
questions.
So, ma'am, the earlier protection order was filed and denied on December 10th, 2018. True?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So you read the declaration from Natasha saying that that she did not directly send you the communication between her and Mr. O'Brien. True?
I saw him a few times in front of Judge Simpson. They were trying to figure out where they were going to send him because none of the judges in Washington were gonna be able to oversee that case. So the last time I saw him, he was in front of Simpson, and they were just trying to figure out where they were going to send him. That's the last time I saw him. They may have figured it out off record, or maybe I just didn't see what they decided. But yeah, that case is not going to happen in Washington for obvious reasons.
I don't know about that one.
You read Natasha's declaration?
Yes, and it's false.
Okay. And so and Natasha passed away within the last week?
Yes.
So the text that he sent you about the little child, he said in that text, your lies have gone far enough. Good luck. True?
Untrue.
Well, that's what the text reads, right? You lied
I think there's a typo instead of lies. It's
I was
lied.
able to prove it. It was perjured.
You lied, have gone far enough. Good luck. True?
Untrue.
So, I guess I'm not clear on what part you're talking about was perjured. One of your primary claims is that he made the little child comment. Are you now saying that he did not make that comment?
Yes, he did. You asked if
Okay.
it was offensive to me, and I said
That's-
yes.
That's right, but now you're saying it's perjured or something. I am not following you.
The declaration of Natasha's is.
Okay,
Because-
but we're now turning to the text. This is the only text that was sent directly to you that is part of the evidence of this case. And that text continues with more writing from Mr. O'Brien, and it says, "You lied, have gone far enough, good luck," right?
Right.
So he's upset about what he perceives. I'm not asking you whether you're lying or not. He's asking he's responding to what he perceives is lying by you, right?
Right.
And you submitted a response to that, and the response was, go fuck yourself. True?
True.
You were angry with him, right?
The words are the words, yes.
Yeah. But they're not the words of someone who's afraid of someone, are they?
I'm not afraid of my own father, but I am, this is for me to elaborate on. So excuse that. Yes, to your answer. I'm not scared of my father. Go ahead.
Go ahead. That's fine.
I'm not scared of my father. I'm not scared of him, but at the same time, what he's doing is wrong. And how he talks to people is wrong.
Got it. So you brought the petition to punish him. Is that right?
To enlighten him about his behavior, yes.
Okay. So you're upset that he bailed your cousin out of jail. That's what you're upset about, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't trust him in his actions either.
Got it. So you're not under substantial emotional distress because he called you little child, right?
That's the least of my concerns. I'm
Okay.
under mental stress and emotional stress because of what he's pursued in text messages that have been submitted of evidence to the court that he wishes I was dead and stoned to death. And that's pretty mentally destroying for anybody, if you ask me.
Okay. So I'm going to object to facts, not in evidence. There's no evidence that Mr. O'Brien said that he wanted her dead or that he wanted her stoned to death. It's just the record is what the record is, Your Honor.
Which is a pattern of his behaviors. He was harassing me prior to him even
So, Your Honor, I'd like
bailing me out of jail.
I'd like a ruling on my objection. I'm objecting facts, not in evidence.
Right, I am looking at petitioner's exhibit and I'm looking at a text message that, where was that?
The best part of it is every time the attorney refers to him, the husband, it's always cousin husband. Every single time. After the first time, you don't have to do that, but he's making sure. So your cousin husband. So your cousin husband. It's like, dude, we get it. But it's awesome. Miss Chris Clark, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat as well.
Didn't say, it said, I just wish Destin would get smart, walk away from her and leave her hanging. Brooke needs to fucking just be hung, beaten, but still live, but be taught spelled TOUGHT, a lesson. That's what I'm looking at. So
That is what I referred to.
Yeah. Okay. So Mr. Johnson?
Okay. So it doesn't say anything about you being stoned to death.
But I think the other sufficient evidence is enough to make sure that's
Ma'am, it's a
harmful to
yes or a
someone.
no. It does not say that you're to be stoned to death, right?
Yeah. Yep, that's what was read.
Okay. Doesn't even say that you're to be killed, does it?
Beaten to death?
Says,
Is that what I heard? Beat?
but still live, man.
But still live. Wow, that's real refreshing.
Fine. And it was a message that he sent not to you, but to his own sister, right?
And there's also more evidence that was that does say stoned to death and different evidence that has been submitted. So maybe we can read through that too.
Has not been submitted, Your Honor. So we because it doesn't exist, frankly. So the text messages, there are lots of text messages where he communicates love and affection to you. Isn't that true?
No.
Your father's never told you he loves you?
Any parent would say I love you at some level or another. Yes.
Okay, so your
That
father
doesn't
has told you.
disregard from the last 3 months of harassment. You can love somebody and it still not work out.
So he was harassing you while you were working for him and he was paying you. Is that your testimony?
Not while I was working with him and all that, but there's prior to the whole you throwing the money in there as well. This isn't about the money. This is about the harassment.
I think that the last transfer of money was January 28th, right?
Because you don't mix business and pleasure.
Okay. So
You also don't mix DNA from the same side of the family there, dear. Too soon?
when Jason was released.
When Destin was released?
Gavar! Thank you so much for the raid. I was actually I'm still debating whether or not I'm gonna play that soft sit. I saw you were playing them tonight. But yeah, I was debating if I was gonna do that tonight. But if you're raiding me, I don't want to share your audience the exact same clip twice. I still might. Who knows? But Gavar, thank you so much.
I mean, Dustin was released.
Want to make sure your client is still with us. All right.
I am.
Brian.
I'm sorry. I had to walk away, Your Honor, for a moment. Come on back.
Okay.
Right, go ahead,
When
Mr.
Dustin, thank you, Your Honor. When Dustin was released, are you aware that your father took his nephew into his own home?
I'm well aware. My husband
are you aware that your father took his nephew to his probation appointment the next day? So the let's see. Just going through my notes quickly, Your Honor. Your Honor, I think that's all I have for this witness at this time.
So is Brian, anything else before I turn to Mr. O'Brien?
No.
All right, let me just see if I've got in particular. I don't think I do.
All right, I just had a really weird thought. It is completely normal, and you know what? I'm going to say 99.9% of the time, because this is the exception. When you're a kid, you have two sets of grandparents. You know, bars, an accident, someone passed away, but yeah, you have two sets of grandparents. Your mom's parents, your dad's parents. How do you tell your kids you only have one set of grandparents? This is so fun. I love this. Sparkle Poots, thank you so much for the gifted membership. Welcome to the new member. Thank you, Sparkle.
So, Mr. Johnson, any evidence to present from your client?
I don't think
of course, in the court.
I don't think it's necessary, Your Honor. Let me just hold on one second.
Give you a moment to review things.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm a little slow. I skipped a tier. Thank you, Thurina.
Your Honor, Mr. O'Brien wants to address the court.
All right, so I'll have you pose questions to your client.
Okay. Mr. O'Brien, you've heard the testimony of your daughter. Is it true that the money that you were sending to her husband and her family was compensation for work that they were doing for your business?
Yes and no.
Okay, can you explain? Can you clarify that?
Yes, I can. Thank you for asking. Over the years, I have helped Brooke numerous times with cars, vehicles, schooling, as such as her mother has too at times. There have been there's been many multiple occasions where I've helped her pay her rent, sometimes her bills throughout the years, as such as her mom has too. And but during a lot of the money that I've given has not always been generated from them working for me. It has been because they might have been slow on bills or money might have been coming in a little bit slower, but Dad was there to give them money. When I had the opportunity for them to work, I put them to work when they wanted to work. Hopefully that answers your question.
So let's go to the most recent, let's go to the month leading up to the filing of this petition. It looks like it's almost $3,000. You know if that was for work or that was as a gift? Can you speak to that?
Yes, sir, I can. For that month, yes, it was for work.
Okay. What about prior to that?
A little bit of everything. You know, I would send $50 here, $30 there. You know, if she had worked for me for 4 or 5 hours, I'd pay for that time. Because it was pretty tough for Brooke to find a job because of my granddaughter and stuff. You know, it's tough because of the scheduling on my daughter's and her part. So Brooke would work for me when she could find time to work for me. And there's times being that she didn't have income coming in that month. So I would help them out with bills.
Got it. So, and what was the relationship like prior to you telling your sister that you were planning to bail your nephew out of jail?
I bailed my nephew out of jail to say goodbye to his mother. I didn't do it despite my daughter, to threaten my daughter in no way. I knew getting him out was going to be a situation, but I took that chance for him to say goodbye to his mom. Now, him ending up back in jail was not my doing.
Okay. So the next question that I have for you is the kind of ugly messages that you sent to your sister about your daughter. And it might be horrifying to the judge to hear a father send a message to his sister saying she deserves to be beat and hung but still live, so that she can learn a lesson. Can you provide some context to the court for that? Because it's kind of a shocking comment, and that alone might, create bias. So I want the court to know what your perspective is on that.
Thank you for asking me that so I can define that statement. In no shape or form would I want anything to happen to my kids, my daughters. I just want my daughter to be held accountable for the lies and the picture that she's painted, and stop playing victim and accept accountability in the life for herself and her self actions. And I understand what I said was not right. And I'll 100% take accountability for that. I could have rephrased my words in a different manner. But at the time, I'm hurt. I'm hurt because of her actions. I didn't raise my child this way, neither did her mother. You know, and so I said some things that I regret, and I do. But at no point ever would I want anything to happen to my kid. Period.
You separated from Brooke's mother when she was about 12?
15.
15, sir.
15.
Yeah.
And you the girls stayed with their mom temporarily, and your boy too, and then you had your son live with you. Is that right?
Yes and no. My daughter Megan lived with my ex Tracy. Brooke at that time was moving out, living with her boyfriend Caleb at the time.
At 15?
I was in Shelton, Washington, doing a job. I came back. I got custody of my son. Well, I got custody as in his mother and I came to a certain agreement that Brandon can come live with me. And ever since then, I've had Brandon since middle school all the way through high school.
Got it. And so were your daughters resentful of the fact that you took your son through high school and Brooke had to go live with a boyfriend?
I can't speak for Brooke's emotional content at that time, but I sensed jealousy, yes, because Brandon is the youngest. And at that point, I was able to give more to Brandon because my life was different. My business was different. My means were different. I sensed that, yeah, and I tried to compensate that by giving them cars, buying them cars, getting them to things, and it just never worked out for me. It's a tough lesson. Tough lesson.
Did you invite Megan to come live with you with her child when she divorced with her husband?
No, I did not. She ended up just showing up, and I opened my house up to her and gave her a place to live.
And she lived with you?
Yes, sir. She did.
So, so it's not. What would you say to their claim that you've been emotionally abusive to the girls?
I wish I could say what I wanted to say, but I find it to be false. I find it to be false. Not every parent's perfect, nor am I. But it doesn't take away the love I have for them. I never hit them. I never abused them.
Well, that was going to be my next question, because Brooke claims that you were physically abusive to her.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So, do you want to provide some context on the I'll be your demise, little child? Your lies have gone far enough. You want to provide some context for the court on that statement? That's the only statement
as in the statement, as in I will be your demise.
That whole statement, you can talk about it for the court, please.
I don't think they actually say it. I've been listening though. I think she's 15. I think she's 27. So they said that her parents, so the guy who's talking right now, separated from her mom when she was 15, but someone also said that happened 12 years ago. So 27, a roundabout.
What I meant by that comment was I'm tired of her lies. I'm tired of her not accepting accountability in her life for her actions and the decisions in which she's making to continue having to come to me asking for help. When, as a parent, I confront her to try to change the subject. What can we do to prevent you coming to me every month and asking me for help, or every other month? And it goes for all my children, just not Brooke. When I have that parenting talk to them, they get offended because I don't open my, well, I'm just going to say, because I don't open my wallet as much as I used to. And I want them to be held accountable for their actions. And that's what that meant. I want her to be held accountable.
Did you mean it as a threat?
No, absolutely not, sir. Absolutely not.
Were you upset that your daughter...
Threatening my daughter in any shape or fashion affects my relationship with my grandchildren. I have to be nice to them to have a relationship with my grandchildren.
Have you loved on your grandchildren?
Have I? I'm sorry, sir?
Have you loved on your grandchildren?
Yes, he has.
They're my life. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I make a better grandparent than I make a better grandparent than a parent. But my grandkids are my life. I mean, I got a grandkid that was just born 2 weeks ago that I haven't seen because of this.
So,
I can't have it. You know, the people that are suffering are my grandkids. My kids aren't going to sit here and say, hey, look, he's a bad grandparent. They won't say that because I'm an awesome grandparent. They drop off their kids to my house, you know, previous to her filing against me. My grandkid was at my house.
So, Mr. Johnson, why don't you pose some questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. Were you upset that your daughter married her cousin?
Yes, absolutely.
Were you worried about her having children with him?
Yes, absolutely.
I have no more questions for Mr. O'Brien, Your Honor.
All right. I love the fact that he asked that question, but what was the relevance there? Please, I mean, I guess, were you worried about her having grandchildren? And he said yes. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can tie that. I don't know. It's still a stretch. But I do love the question at the end.
Right.
May I speak?
Yes, I was just, give me a moment here as I see if there's something I have a question on. Answer that. So, so Brooke O'Brien, anything in response? You said a lot already and provide a lot of information, but anything additional?
So, you know, I appreciate the financial assistance that my father has helped me with, but this is not what this case is about. He is simply doing his parental responsibilities like most parents do for their children in hard times. That does not excuse the behavior.
Past the age of 18, Brooke?
Mr. O'Brien,
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Hold your peace and let Ms. O'Brien speak. So go ahead. Ms. O'Brien,
I've experienced that does not excuse his behavior or harassment. The emphasis on money is not irrelevant to this case, nor should it affect this. This is about the behavior, which is he's using and makes himself appear to be a supportive father, which he has been financially, like he has said in his statement, and he's thrown money at a lot of things, but it's not ever his money that we wanted. It was him to take us fishing or his time. I also believe my father uses money to attempt to buy the love, but it's not really helpful, and it doesn't fix anything. He bailed out Destin out of jail 2 days after he was served, and he threatened to do so in messages prior to that, which proves he had ill intentions of him getting bailed out. And that's what I have to say about that.
Great. So, Mr. Johnson, anything on behalf of your client? Any statement?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking at helpfully, Ms. O'Brien, you put, I forget what document it was. It was your declaration that you filed where you kind of summed up the 6 points of what you were making here.
All right, before we get into this ruling, you guys want to watch the stop sit from today? Like I said, I was debating making it a video tomorrow, but we can just play it tonight instead. We might need a little palate cleanser after this one. So I do have it if you guys want to watch it.
So I have to find was there unlawful harassment committed, and I can't find that. This is a horribly failed relationship. It looks, there are statements made that are shocking by your father, but I don't find that they had the intent nor any more than what we call fighting words under the law. And the more recent events is what we're dealing with. Sounds like with the declaration from your mom and the divorce that occurred about 12 years ago, or at least you moved out of the purvey of your father's house about 12 years ago, is what I understand. And your mom's statement that supports you, that your father was not, was abusive, but I don't have any substantial corroboration of that. So I'm not making any findings there. I'm glad to hear that you're not afraid of your father, but these orders have to be based on the law. It's not whether your father's doing something wrong or doing something right, or how he talks to people right or wrong. That's not for the court to issue an order on, and I don't find on all of the information here that there's been unlawful harassment as defined by the law. So therefore, the court cannot issue an order. However, it's obvious that folks don't want to have contact with each other, so you're going to have to make those decisions for yourself and, of course, for your children. But I don't have the basis of evidence here to issue this order. So that's the end of the hearing.
May I speak?
And this order of denial will be in the court file for all parties to access.
Okay, may I
So-
speak to Mr. O'Brien?
No, I'm not going to take court time to do that. So we'll do that on your own if you feel so inclined.
I don't. I just
But,
wanted to get a wham bam deal.
All
Just
right,
don't
we're going to
communicate.
move on. We're going to move
Okay,
on
thank
to
you.
other hearings.
Your-
So
Your Honor, I would just
one can
invite
be
her to contact me.
on
if
their
she-
way. Pardon, Mr.
I would
Johnson?
invite her to contact me if she wants. I can, she has my cell phone number, so.
All right, that's one avenue.
Thank you, Your
Right.
Honor. Appreciate
Be
it.
on your
I'll tell you this. You know, she may, have that entitled stick up her ass right now, but give it time. Give it, I don't know, a couple months. It might take a couple years. She's gonna realize she fucked up. Just saying. She's going to. She's hurting herself and her grandkids. Well, she's also hurting her dad, but it sounds like he still heavily supports her. And to do this, yeah, good luck. And you just lost your husband, your cousin. So yeah, good luck. All right, let's move on to the soft sit. I didn't see any no's, which I don't know why I would have seen any no's. All right, here we go. All right, so just real quick, this is the sovereign citizen that Judge McBurney let talk for about 30 minutes. Let's see, what else can I say about him? He doesn't know how to pronounce the word jurisdiction. I had the jurisdiction counter on him during the first hearing. I think he said it, what was it? I think it was in the 30s. He said jurisdiction 30-something times. I think, no, it was 20-something. It doesn't matter. It was a lot. What else? Oh, he wanted, he's charging the court over $1 billion for his stay in court or his stay in jail. I think that sums it up. This is the second hearing. Okay. And his charges. They don't talk about his charges today. His charges are it's first degree murder. Not, this isn't a light charge. He's deciding to do the sovereign citizen stick when, he is on video shooting a man in the face. Just saying. So, as entertaining as this guy is, he's a monster. All right, let's go.
Need 1 second. Finding out about your scheduling order. Okay, let's get on the record, please, Ms. Rivers. This is 24 SC 003257, State versus Ricky Pierce. Mr. Pierce is in court. He was at an earlier proceeding. He and I had a long conversation about self-representation. I've entered an order allowing him to represent himself or honoring his request to represent himself. Today, we're going to cover 3 things. Mr. Pierce. One, we need to do your arraignment because we weren't sure if you were going to have a lawyer or be your own representative. I held off on arraignment, so we got to do arraignment.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So it's like a screen burn type thing, but it's on a camera. It shouldn't be on. The screen burn happens on the monitor, not the camera. So it's really weird. It doesn't go away. So yeah, it's just glitched there. Odd.
Two, I'm going to, on the record, get you the paper part of your discovery, which you can take with you. And then three, we're going to talk about scheduling so that your case catches up with Mr. Baker's. So let's start with the arraignment.
Before we can get into that, it's a lot of issues that I had that I want to address before we get started with the arraignment. It's a lot of questions that I have that I need to be answered.
Okay.
All right. Also, pay attention to the attorneys behind them. They can't hold in their laughter. It comes out a couple times, so you'll see it.
So why don't you give me an example of one of the questions, and then I'm actually going to decide whether we do arraignment first or your questions first.
Well, the law state that in Hagan versus Levine state that anytime a jurisdiction is challenged, that it must be proven before the case proceeds.
Okay.
And you're trying to proceed with this case without establishing jurisdiction first. That's the law, Your Honor.
Okay. It will work better as you and I are working together on this. If you've got legal concerns, you put them into a motion. So
I
if
have
you
filed a motion already, but Your Honor.
So I'm gonna look and see what's in the docket.
It states that
Yeah, but on the same thing, on the flip side, he doesn't have anything to lose. He's on video doing it. There's really nothing he can do. He's up for life. Well, I mean, what's an attorney going to do? Well, besides actually represent him, maybe get him a plea deal for, a potential of parole in 40 years. I mean, this guy isn't. I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he's not a kid. So I don't know. The way that I actually was talking to Kfar about this earlier, and I think this is just a Hail Mary. He's just going to do this sovereign citizen thing, represent himself, and hopefully something happens by doing this. Which I don't know. It might be his only shot at something. I don't know. He's 41. Okay.
But can I proceed without establishing jurisdiction first, Your Honor? Okay. This is the law. I'm not saying nothing that's against the laws of Georgia, Your Honor, or United States.
If she can't take down, if you talk about that, she's trying to take down everything.
I was actually thinking about that when I said it. This is Georgia. I don't know. If someone can Google that real quick. I don't know. I really don't.
You say.
Right. So pause. Just hold on, Mr. Pierce. I'm looking in the docket here, and I'm not seeing that you filed, and it just may not have made it yet, that you filed a motion challenging jurisdiction. But I'm happy to let you know right now, I'm real comfortable with the court's jurisdiction. That doesn't mean I won't.
Your Honor, it states that the proof of jurisdiction beyond a reasonable doubt is asserted. I'm the one asserting jurisdiction here, Your Honor. So that means I have to prove jurisdiction, but you got to give me the opportunity. If you don't give me the opportunity, you're violating my rights, Your Honor.
What's in your mouth?
Paper.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure everything.
But yeah, the law states that the asserter establishes jurisdiction is to prove jurisdiction, Your Honor. You're not letting me do that.
Okay.
You're not.
Okay. Well, I got you.
Just buy one consonant and S, please, for the love of God. Jurisdiction. There's an S in the word. And it's not, for a while I thought, he might have a speech impediment. He says S's in every other word he says. So, no, he's just choosing to mispronounce jurisdiction over and over again.
So, one, we got to speak slowly. And two, now I'm better understanding. You're saying you want to prove jurisdiction?
Yeah, I'm the asserter. Okay. Can I just read my question, just go through it's not that long.
Okay, you said a whole bunch, but if it's not that long, how about I listen to you?
Your Honor, it's a lot of things I'm not understanding right now. And it's a lot of questions I need you to answer. So I can better understand what is going on up until this point, Your Honor. Like, hey, I changed the court's jurisdiction on March the 4th, 2025, and I also filed a motion that's right here I have signed by the clerk saying that it's been filed. But this is the motion right here that I have filed. I have here something, me copies back and everything. And plus, the courts are still trying to proceed with my case when you guys lack subject matter jurisdiction. Plus, it states in Louisville versus Motley, if any tribunal find absent of proof of jurisdiction over a person or subject matter, the case must be dismissed.
Okay, slow down. I'm gonna let you keep reading. Just slow down so Ms. Rivers can get what you're saying.
And also, Your Honor, once jurisdiction is changed, it is to be proven not by the courts, but by the party attempting to assert jurisdiction, which will be me. Your Honor, the burden of proof lies with the assertor.
Okay, I'm now finding, it just wasn't listed as a motion, but I do see it's in the docket right here, something that you filed. It's in.
Oh, absolutely. And the judge kind of plays his game at the start of this, which he's doing, but towards the end, no. He puts his foot down. He's like, no, I'm not playing your games. He tried to push a little too much.
Titled pro se
with a prohibition.
Right. Got it. So I've got that. I will rule on that. I'm going to give the state a chance to respond. But you just filed, you filed it a couple weeks ago. And so I'll get input from the state on that. And then I do owe you a ruling on that. That does not prevent us from doing the arraignment.
Yeah, it does, Your Honor, because the law states that anytime a court jurisdiction is challenged, it must be proven before the case can proceed, Your Honor.
Okay.
So I changed the jurisdiction last month, March the 4th. So that means that you have to set a court date for me to prove that you lack subject matter jurisdiction. That means I have bring my evidence, the state bring their evidence, show jurisdiction, and I'm not a statutory entity, so therefore statutory law don't apply.
I agree, legal fiction. I'm glad he got him off the reeds too. Oh, sorry, the treats. I left out the T. I was trying to skip the S, but yeah. Yeah, see what I did there? Bad joke, maybe? Too soon?
Apply to me, Your Honor.
Is the writ of replevy, is that your challenge to jurisdiction? Or is there another
one? To go with my writ of prohibition.
Okay. Let me see if I got
my
that.
writ of prohibition, I filed 2 motions.
Okay. Let me just take a look here.
I have a lot of questions that I need to be asked.
As long as you read slowly, we'll get through that. Okay, I think I've got your writ of prohibition also. And is that the challenge to jurisdiction?
Is that for fraudulent practices?
I am fairly certain that Judge McBurney keeps telling him to slow down. Not because he's talking too fast. The court reporter is trained. She can type fast. This guy is not the fastest talker that's ever been in this court. But she doesn't know how to spell the way he's pronouncing jurisdiction. So every time he says it, she has to contemplate, do I spell it the correct way or do I have to try to butcher this word? So that's what clogs up the record. I'm certain of that. What's up, Shane? Good to see you.
Misrepresentation and lack of subject matter jurisdiction. Yes.
Okay, I see that. It says for fraud. Yep, they're all there. All right. So you filed them. I'm making a list here of things that I need to work on, and then I'll need to let the state respond. The way it works, if you file a motion, the state gets a chance to respond. Once I have both sides, then I can rule on that. Okay.
I mean, but you're still trying to proceed with the case, Your Honor, when we haven't established, you trying to get me to plead when this case is supposed to be at a standstill when I changed the jurisdiction March the 4th of last month. So that means you have to prove jurisdiction before I even make a plea on this, Your Honor.
I'm fine delaying the arraignment while we work through this. We don't have to do the arraignment today. I can hold on to the discovery and get you that another time. If you would prefer that I let the state respond and then I rule on it, we can handle it that way. Is that what you'd like?
I would like if we can just answer these questions that I have right in front of me today, Your Honor.
So then don't read the motion anymore and tell me what are your
questions. I
questions.
read the motion. I read what I have wrote down, my issues I have.
Okay, but ask questions instead of telling me about these cases.
Your Honor, I am on, let the record reflect that This is the defendant, this birth certificate, which is the person / persona, which is a legal fiction, also a statutory entity.
Okay, I need you to slow down a little bit. So,
Let the
Mr.
record reflect, Your Honor, that this birth certificate is the defendant. I'm physically showing the birth certificate, everyone in the courtroom, that this is the defendant, and I am the defense.
Okay.
Your Honor, I am only here in this courtroom by special appearance on the threat and duress to administer affairs of the All Cap Trust, which is this birth certificate.
Okay.
As a sole beneficiary.
Stop. You told me you had questions. Tell me.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. I'm just introducing to the question, Your Honor.
I want you to go straight to the question now.
Your Honor, is this courtroom a court of records?
Okay, what's your next question?
Is this, you can answer it? Is this courtroom
I
a court
want
of
to know what
records?
your questions are.
I'm asking the question, Your Honor, is this courtroom a court of records?
So I thought you were going to share with me what the questions were. I didn't tell you if I was going to answer the questions. You said you had a bunch of questions.
So you're going to have me ask questions that you're not going to answer, Your Honor? That's not fair.
Well, don't ask the questions then. You don't have to ask the questions. You said you wanted to ask your questions, and I'm happy to hear them. If it's appropriate for me to answer them, I will.
So you don't think me asking is this court of records appropriate?
I didn't say it was appropriate or inappropriate. I just needed to know what your questions were, and if they're ones that I should answer right now, like what time is it? I can tell you, 3:51.
Yeah, and I'm asking something very simple, Your Honor. Is this courtroom a court of records?
All right, and what's your next question?
Your Honor, is your courtroom a court of records? I can't get
That
past
seems like
these
the first
questions
question.
need to be answered before, Your Honor.
No, the judge does not have to answer your questions. I don't know what's so hard for people to understand, or sovereign citizens. They think the judge is there to serve them. No, the judge is there as a referee. He doesn't have to answer your questions. This is what an attorney does. He doesn't have to answer shit. If you ask him what time it is, he doesn't even have to answer you that. He just said the clock's right there. Or just look at you. Doesn't have to answer anything. Generally, they do answer because they want their courtroom to proceed normally. But no, he can just stare at you and smile. Just move along. Move along, sir.
This question need to be answered for me to proceed, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me
I'm
what
trying to get an understanding. If you're not trying to help me get an understanding,
tell me what you mean by a court of records.
is this a court of records? It's simple.
I don't know what that means.
Is this courtroom a court of records?
I don't know what court of records means.
Do they record and proceed on everything that's happening in this courtroom? Do they record and document everything that's happening in this courtroom?
I don't know about everything, but as long as you're speaking slowly and clearly, then things are being taken down. What's your next question?
Is this Fulton County courtroom a court of records? The same question you're not answering, Your Honor. You're trying to dodge the question.
No, I'm not. I want to make sure I understand the question.
Is this Fulton County courtroom a court of records?
At times it is.
And are you sure this courtroom is a court of records?
If court of records means we take down what is said in court, then yes, sometimes this is a court of records.
For the record, Your Honor, I go by Ricky DeMond Pierce, all lowercase letters, nothing more, nothing less. Again, I'm here by special appearance on the threat and duress to again administer affairs of the All Cash Trust as the sole beneficiary and a shareholder of the trust, which again is this birth certificate. Okay, I'm also the executive of this estate.
Yeah, I think this is Fulton County. I looked it up. It's I think it is the Superior Court in DeKalb County. I think no, is it DeKalb or is it Fulton? I think it's DeKalb. Anyways, it's the Superior Court in Georgia. That's what I remember. I was looking at the website today, looking at what judges are in this courthouse. So yeah, I don't remember what county it was. I just remember Superior Court in Georgia. That's all I got for you.
I'm not the living person. They're not the person or persona, which is a statutory entity. I'm not the all caps legal official on my corporation. I'm the living man, and I have proof signed by your government agreeing to the same.
So what's your next question?
Your Honor, before we could proceed with this matter, I have a few questions I need for you to answer. First, Your Honor, are you practicing color law behind the bench?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Are you practicing color law behind the bench? Because Title 18 U.S.C. Section 242 clearly states that you are committing a felony if you are doing so. Title 18 states, whoever, under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom willfully subject any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by and protected by the constitutional laws of the United States shall be found under this title or in prison not more than 1 year or both. And if bodily injury results from acts committed in violation of this section, or if such acts include the use, attempted use, or threat of use of a dangerous weapon, explosive, or fire, shall be found under this title or in prison no more than 10 years or both. And if death results from the acts committed in violation of this section, and if such acts include kidnapping, attempted to kill, shall be found under this title or in prison for a term of years or for life or both, or may be sentenced to death. Now my question, let the record reflect that no legal or lawful matter can proceed without jurisdiction, Your Honor. We both know this.
Right. So we're going in circles. We're back.
Let me finish. Your Honor, my question to you is Your Honor, for the record, is this matter a criminal matter or a civil matter?
What do you think?
I just want to answer.
You're standing there in handcuffs. You're wearing a jail outfit.
Honor, can you please answer the question for me, please?
That's my answer. I'm answering with a question. What do you think?
Yeah, that's one of those trap questions sovereign citizens like to ask. Because they want them to say criminal, and then if you say if it's criminal, you have to go. It has to be one of these two jurisdictions. So he's trying to get him to say it. But I love the judge. He's not falling into the trap. Like, what do you think? You're in a jail outfit. You're wearing cuffs. You haven't been home in months. What do you think? You wouldn't be here on a civil case.
I don't know. I don't know, Your Honor. That's why I'm asking. I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
What's your next question?
Your Honor, for the record, is this matter a criminal matter or a civil matter?
Ask a question you don't know the answer to.
I don't know that. I'm telling you, how you gonna tell me what I know, Your Honor?
Well, if it were a civil matter, would you be having to use the restroom in front of everyone else?
Oh no, that's why I'm asking you, Honor. I'm coming to you as fast as I know how, Your Honor, and humble as I know how. I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question.
Okay. What's your next question?
Your Honor, for the record, is this matter a criminal matter or a civil matter?
Okay, that would be your next question. That's one you already asked.
Why we can't pass this question, Your Honor, because I lack knowledge to understand what is going on. And I'm telling you this, and it's my authority to let the court know when I don't understand something.
A fair point. I want you to let me know when you don't understand. We already covered that when we had our Feretta hearing. We talked about what kind of case it is and the penalties you face.
I said, is this a criminal matter or a civil matter?
How much more time do you need? Because you got about 3 minutes before I'm going to bring someone out here that we can move the case along.
Your Honor, I just want you to answer my questions because I lack knowledge to understand what's going on. I'm just trying to keep caught up to date to understand what is going on.
Okay.
There's no harm in that, Your Honor.
What's your next question?
It's the same question. Before I can get to the next question, I have to answer this question.
Go to the next question. You just said you're not going to answer.
Your Honor, for the record, is this matter a criminal matter or a civil matter, Your Honor?
All right, we're done. I will bring you back once the state has responded to your motions, and I will likely be entering an order that lets you know my thoughts about jurisdiction. Once I've done that, you can choose to participate in an arraignment, but you do need to understand that in a criminal case, that's a clue.
So this is all a criminal matter? Why you couldn't answer the first time, Your Honor?
Why are you asking?
Oh my gosh. Oh, in a criminal case, hey, that was a clue. Look at that giant smile on his face. He's like, yay, he answered. Oh, no. Wipe that smile off your face, please.
The first
because
time.
I just told you I'm trying to get an understanding.
So let me finish. So you understand that in a criminal case.
So this is a criminal matter, for the record.
Such as yours, if you choose not to participate, this
is a criminal matter or a civil matter, Your Honor.
You need to stop interrupting, okay?
I'm trying to understand something. It's my right to, if I don't understand something, to bring it to your attention, Your Honor. That's the law.
Well, it's not the law. It's how you're choosing to proceed. If you decide not to participate in arraignment, I'm authorized by law to enter a plea of not guilty. And that's what I'll do. So when I see you again, we're going to try again.
So you're going to violate the laws when it states that a case cannot proceed without establishing jurisdiction first. So you're just going to ignore that.
Nope, I'm going to rule on your motion. And after I've done that, then I'll bring you back for arraignment. And you can choose to participate in it or not. I'm just letting you know in advance so you're not disappointed.
I'm not gonna participate in it until you establish jurisdiction over me first. That's the first thing first. We're not gonna skip the process. This called due process of law for a reason, Your Honor.
It is, and that's why we're not
And
doing
in
it.
Hagan versus Levine, it states that anytime a jurisdiction is challenged, it's to be proven before the case can proceed. That is the law. That is not nothing that I made up, Your Honor.
Okay, you may be misapplying it, but I'm not disagreeing.
I'm not misapplying. I done read it 1,000 times, Your Honor.
Okay, well then you know it. So that's why we're not doing the arraignment today. I'll take care of establishing jurisdiction. And once I've done that, I'm comfortable that I've established jurisdiction, we'll bring you back for an arraignment. You can participate or not, but we'll have cleared that hurdle that you.
If you haven't, I'm not gonna participate. If you can't establish jurisdiction over my case first, why would I participate?
You don't need to participate. I'll bring you out. You can say no, thank you. We take you back there. We bring the jury in.
I mean, Your Honor, I have issues, and it's.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, and we both do, Your Honor.
I have issues. Yeah, you do. But I have issues. Yeah, you do. Yeah, no, you have issues, man. You have issues.
And my responses, do I address them to, as Mr. Pierce has recognized to start the day as lowercase r, P, progressive name, because he signed all of his motions with uppercase R, uppercase P.
Oh, this part's hilarious because the prosecutor absolutely calls him out on the all caps name thing. I'm going to rewind it so you can hear this. I paused it right when it started. So I'm going to rewind it in a few seconds. But yeah, even Judge is like, awkward. All right. Is this far enough? I got to go back a little further. This is hilarious. But you got to pay attention because you can't really hear the prosecutor.
You do.
Yeah, and we both do, Your Honor.
And my responses, do I address them to, as Mr. Pierce has recognized to start the day as lowercase r, P, progressive name, because he signed all of his motions with uppercase R, uppercase P, uppercase.
No, I don't. I do uppercase or lowercase everything else. Dash. I don't have an sentence. I have an autograph.
It's just different. Out of respect, I just was curious. It's different than what he.
Let me show you.
I got it right here.
Right. No, I'm looking at it. It's capital R, capital P.
No.
Oh yes. But that's all right.
Is that all caps?
No, it's not all caps, but you capitalize each word.
This is all caps. Is this your handwriting?
Well.
See, that's all caps.
Oh, that's awkward. All right.
Is that in all caps?
Oh, the sovereign citizen that signs his name in all caps. That's. I'm sorry. The judge. Oh, that's awkward. I love the prosecutor for doing this on the record.
So how about this, Mr. Pierce? I'm going to agree that you have written it in different ways, and I'm really not going to get hung up on that.
I'm not all, like I got the paperwork right here signed by the government saying I'm not a part of y'all, and it's on file with the office. It's filed in office. My paper right here shows that I'm not the all caps legal official signed by y'all government.
Good.
Signed by y'all government saying I'm not the all caps.
I will not use all caps. I will not use all caps.
Signed by you guys government.
You guys. Okay.
Because I'm a national, I'm not a citizen. Y'all are citizens. I'm not.
I remember you establishing that before. We don't need to cover that again.
It was very much that I present it at every court because it's for the record. It's my job to put it on the record, Your Honor.
Okay. It's back on the record. We're incorporating in this hearing what you put on the record at the last hearing, and we'll do that every time. Anything else you want to cover? Because I'm happy to give you this discovery, but you can't have it.
I don't want to proceed until I get my question answered, Your Honor.
All right. Why don't you do this? If you want to put them in writing, you could file them and I can get you those answers. But we're wasting not your time or mine, an important conversation, but there are a lot of other people here who are stuck while you ask questions like, is this a criminal matter or a civil matter? So
right, because I don't understand.
Okay.
And I just want to ask you where is the problem just answering the question, Your Honor? Because I lack the knowledge to know.
Okay. I feel your lack of knowledge, and I'll bring you back after I've responded to the motions you filed. That's the way we're going to interact here. If there's something you want an answer for or ruling on, you need to file it. And you know how to do it. You did it well. Okay? I'll keep your discovery warm and dry in my office.
Well, so would you just continue this court date or something?
Yeah, we can't do the arraignment today. You've helped me understand why. You want me to
Because you can't
establish.
proceed with my case until you establish jurisdiction over my case, Your Honor.
That's right.
That's the law.
It is the law.
So what's the problem with me asking the question to better understand what's going on?
Well, I don't even have jurisdiction yet. Let me establish that, then I'll be in a position to have a conversation with you.
And we're not talking about statutory jurisdiction. We're talking about the Constitution jurisdiction.
We're talking about whatever jurisdiction I find. Okay? I'll see you soon.
Oh, yeah. Soft sit. Wow. Soft sit shut down. Yeah, no, I'm gonna find you this jurisdiction. I'm gonna prove to you that I have jurisdiction. And you're just going to accept it. But you know what? You wanted me to prove it, so we'll delay your case a little bit longer. You can go on back. But I have more questions. I don't understand. Nope. I don't have jurisdiction yet. I love it. It's going to clog up his docket for another hearing. It's the same thing's going to happen in a couple weeks. But don't worry. We're going to watch it, and we're going to laugh at this guy again. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, this guy is entertaining, but let's not forget this guy's a monster. He is accused of, I guess allegedly, he's accused of ending someone's life, but as the prosecutor said during his last hearing, it's on video. It's like they said it's in 4K video. Like he went on about how crystal clear this video was of him shooting this guy. This guy walking his dog just walked up and shot him. So yeah, we let's not forget that. It is a soft sit, and we like laughing at him, but at the end of the day, he's in jail for a reason. All right. I still left in the next 30 seconds because the attorneys start making fun of him. So I kept that part in. But I'm going to let it play out, and I'm going to look for someone to raid. Since KFAR already raided me, I'm probably going to raid Lone Wolf. So, yeah, it's going to be Lone Wolf. If it's anyone else, I'll pause it at the end and let you know where we're going. But make sure you jump over there and say hi to Lone Wolf for me. Thank you all for hanging out. I do appreciate it. KFAR, Biggin, thank you both for the raids. That is awesome. I do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all the super chats, the gifted memberships, membership milestones. You guys are truly awesome. Cheshire Cat. I'm not here. Nah, April Fools. I knew you were there. I felt you. I know I know when you're there. You can't hide. Oh, Rich, I missed your soup. I missed yours. Rich, thank you so much. Quarter Ruckus, Your Honor. Quarter Ruckus, Your Honor. Sparkle Poods, bless his heart. He just stupid. Absolutely. Sparkle Poods, thank you. Kimberly, thank you so much for the 8 months. I missed a lot. Kimberly, thank you so much for the 8 months. I do appreciate it. Thank you guys for the super chats. All right. Now I'm going to let it, You rated me? Oh. I rated you and just completely ignored the rest of what you just said, and then I read it. Well, I appreciate your one-man reign. Thanks, Shane. It's good to see you. Hopefully you're well. All right. Go say hi to Lone Wolf. You guys are awesome. That's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time, bye.
Bye, Judge.
That went differently than I expected. Really? I thought just by letting him vent that first time, he purged himself. Clearly not.